Hey, what's happening, everyone? Welcome. Today is Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first call. Good morning, Tommy and Stacy and Mark and Jenny and all the rest of you, whether you're watching live or later or perhaps listening. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you all. How are you? How was your Tuesday? I had it. How do I describe yesterday? It was a good day. It was a productive day. Some of you may have joined us for the live installment of Q&A number 20, Martial Arts Radio episode. If you want, you can go back. You can find that. It's crawling around Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, but you can also wait for it to come out in our feed, complete with graphics and things like that, or you can wait for the audio. Recorded a couple podcast episodes. Sadly, there was a larger name yesterday that we have to reschedule. Some things popped up on their end. That was a bummer, but it happens. And from what I understand, we are rescheduling for our next regular recording date, which is November 2nd. Had a great meeting of the awards group last night where we laughed and cried a little bit. And what else did we do? Oh yeah, a lot of work. It was a really productive meeting. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of meetings. Those meetings go great. We get a lot done. It's really, really nice. Good morning, Frank and Dennis and Brian. And Jenny says it was an emotional day. Found out my aunt passed away. I'm so sorry. But I had a beautiful day with Lilith, including a lovely walk and trip to the playground. We crunched in fallen leaves and had a blast. I think that is great. Stacy joined us for part of the Q&A before heading back to work. And Dennis is throwing out a frozen woo. How would you say woo if you were frozen? There'd be like a chatter there, right? It'd be like woo, 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 woo. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Went to the gym briefly, picked up my new dishwasher, was going to put it in after I came back from the gym, and then just said, you know what? I don't want to. It's like 7:30 at night. I don't want to install a dishwasher. So I didn't. I will do that at some point today. I'm looking around the house, and the housekeeper comes today, the house cleaner. And yeah. So as soon as I'm done with this, I've got about probably an hour that I'm going to be relocating things, putting some things away permanently, temporarily. It'll be interesting. Probably will not do the dishwasher this morning. Might do it this afternoon. We'll see. Yeah. Stacey says it's warmer in Northern Vermont, 38 degrees. What does my phone says? My phone says it's 32. I'm curious. I'm going to go look at the temperature. Be right back. I did not look. Usually I look in the morning to see what the morning temperature is. As usual, it's 2 to 3 degrees colder outside at my house than the temperature says it is 30. So I win. I don't know what the prize is, but Dennis says a frozen woo sounds like a sheep. Woo. It sounds more like a, no, I guess that's a sheep. Yeah. You're all ridiculous, and I love you for it. So today, Wednesday, fairly normal day. I've got a couple calls. I have a meeting with somebody that is not a normal meeting. Who is that? Yes. Have a call about something happening at Free Training Day Northeast, which I'm excited about. It's another first time we're ever doing something. Yeah, we'll see. It's cold. I got a pile going already. Actually, most of the pile that I didn't unpack from Free Training Day South to go to Free Training Day Pacific Northwest. So it is chaos over here, but it's great. It's great chaos. It's wonderful. I'm really happy with a lot of the things that are going on, and I'm super proud of the team. And that includes a number of you. Tommy says it's 27 there on the mountain. Woo! That is cold. Frank says it's 40 there in Cincinnati. That's cold. It's cold. It's all cold. We know it's cold. Everything I'm reading says that it is going to be a cold and snowy winter. Not looking forward to a cold and snowy winter. Not a colder and snowier than normal, anyway. I'm going to order more oil for the tanks. They're almost full, but I'd like to fill them up. I tried to get firewood. Didn't work, and it's too late. I don't have time to deal with it. The person that typically delivers firewood, I gave them too long, right? I wrote, said, yeah, I got a cord. I said, great. Can you bring it? How much? No answer. A couple weeks later, hey, what's going on? A couple weeks later, hey, what's going on? Nothing. I don't understand people who don't reply. I don't. I've never understood it. If you are in business, communication matters. The sheer number of businesses that have terrible communication simply because there is extra demand, I don't get it. And yet these are the same personality types that when a competitive business opens, they get very upset. People rarely want to compete with a business that does a great job. Jenny says, just keep the snow away from Free Training Day Northeast. I think it's unlikely there will be a storm of significance, but it is far from out of the realm of possibilities for us to have a little bit of snow that weekend. Dennis says he's training with Superfoot tomorrow night at Paul's and Saturday at Terry's. That deserves a double woo. If I was not headed out to the Northwest, I would be at both of those events. Tommy read that too about this being a snowy winter. Frank says the Burr months have started. October, November, December. And Jared says, I heard this was the 5th El Nino year in a row, which is very rare and unprecedented. Jared, I know you Facebooked me. Email me, please. Facebook is not a great part of my workflow. And we'll, all those things. There were things. Tommy says, there are still guys out there doing wood. It's gone up, though, I'm sure, being October. Absolutely. It's more a question of when I will have time to do it and get it put away. Because in order for me to get the wood where it needs to go, I've got to rearrange things. I've got to pull wood. I've got to move all the wood forward. And it's a multi-day. You know, I could probably do it all in one day. But I'm still looking at my patio umbrella out there. There are things that like need to get done, and I don't need the wood. I go through maybe a quarter of a cord a year, and I probably have a cord. If it's a brutal winter and I don't use the oil furnace, I could still get through winter with the wood that I have. My house is quite buttoned up. Oh, that's a great question, Jared. If you had your dream free training day, where would you locate it? Well, since we're talking about the location, I'll forget, number of people and people that I know and everything, like for those of you who may not realize, by us having one in the South, Jared came, and that just meant a lot to me because I hadn't seen him in person since the first free training day. So that was really meaningful to me. Tommy, honestly, this is kind of where my brain is going. An island all to ourselves, training and naps and rum drinks everywhere. But it also feels like the plot of Enter the Dragon and probably several and Mortal Kombat. Maybe someday we do a combination free training day, make our own martial arts movie. We're really not that far off from doing that. I've said before that I wrote Faith as close to a screenplay as I could, as a book, intentionally. The dialogue is there, the fight scenes are there. I know where the locations are here, and I've told a couple people, like, if you want to take on the filming, directing, editing of this project, we need a weekend. It is a weekend to shoot that movie. That's it. Because they're all super simple scenes. Stacy says Hawaii in February for me, or wherever Jeremy vacations past winter. Oh, that was Belize. I have thought, when I went to Belize, I spent half my time out on the islands. There was no martial arts school I could find on the islands. And it made me wonder, what if I spent winters there and opened a martial arts school? That would be fun. And Jared says, what about a free training day cruise? We could do that too. Tommy says he'd be a great Raiden. Yeah, you would. I bet you even have the hat. Good morning to you, Gad. So if I had to pick a spot for a great free training day, it would be about the spot, right? So we'd be looking for good weather, lots of land, few bugs, no snakes. So I think we're talking about a warmer island area that's going to get good breezes. So it could be something like Belize, even though I know mainland Belize is mainland. Something like Fiji, or one of those beautiful islands in the Pacific, something like that. The Seychelles. Let's say the Seychelles, because I've always wanted to go there. That seems like an interesting place. Very difficult to get to. Maybe not very, but kind of difficult to get to and expensive. So I would imagine that someday we end up with a, what do I want to call it? A martial arts tourism division. I know there are companies that do this, or like, we'll get you to Thailand and get you to a place where, you can do Muay Thai. Great. But from what I understand, it is hit or miss. So if Whistlekick did it, we would open an actual school and vet and run and bring in the instructors and teach them how to teach and, et cetera. Give people a modern, authentic experience. And we could do that all over the place. Could do that in Okinawa, could do that in Thailand, could do that in Japan and China. And what if you got to do, what if there was some cool, like, 6-month takeoff? We'll take you all around the world. You can learn all these martial arts, a week at a time. That'd be awesome, right? That's the kind of stuff I want to do as we get big. Jared says, oh, where are the dodos from? Do that. Free training day dodo. Gad says, the Netherlands has some great locations, and you love cheese. I do love cheese, and I would love for us to have one in your, it's really going to be interesting because the concept is so sound and people love it, that we either will have to artificially restrict how many we have at some point, or some of them will have to happen without me. And I don't know which one I want. Limiting something can be good for the marketing of it, but it's not necessarily that they have to involve me, right? Like I'm really torn. Most of the things with whistlekick don't have to happen without me, but free training day happening without me would kind of make me sad. Take care, Stacy. Stacy's off to work. Won't be here tomorrow. Extra hugs. See you Friday. Have a good one. Alrighty. I want everybody to keep thinking about that. Where could we have the dream free training day? Now, Frank did send over some stuff. Well, a thing. Hello, Liz. I didn't know you were here. I lost my train of thought for a moment. Thank you, as always, to Frank for all that you do with the show, and shout out to Josh for our theme song. Now, today happens to be Evander Holyfield's birthday. I suspect most of you, if not all of you, know that name, Evander Holyfield, famed heavyweight boxer. Most known for getting a chunk of his ear bit off by Mike Tyson, right? Like, I think that's why most non-boxing fans would know him. That was Holyfield, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was Holyfield. Somebody will confirm it for me. I watched that fight. I watched that fight with bandaged knees because I fell over a hurdle at a track meet that day. So on this day, on October 19th, 1962, Holyfield was born. We have 3 quotes from him. A setback only paves the way for a comeback. Am I the only one who really enjoys a comeback story, an underdog story? It's kind of been a driving force in my life. I'm small. I'm physically small. Spent most of my life without very many friends. And it really... I've always identified with those kind of come from behind, come back, underdog, the world is against you stories. And, think of a quote like that. I generally root for the person who's behind. When I referee tournaments, I've gotten pretty good at remaining objective and still quietly in the back of my mind cheering and hoping that the underdog finds a way to step up. Right? Like I still do that. Yeah. Dennis says, I love an underdog story. And Liz says, comeback stories are the best. Actually, Tommy's correcting me. Holyfield was a multi-weight champion. Okay. Heavyweight and light heavyweight, I'm guessing. It is not the size of a man, but the size of his heart that matters. What is heart? What does heart mean? What does heart mean in the context of martial arts? Spirit? Passion? Heart comes through in forms, right? We can see heart when someone uses it. We can see heart when someone is down and out and they continue to fight. It's a point sparring match at a tournament. Somebody's down 4-0 and they don't quit. Maybe they don't win, but they get it up to 4-3 or 4-4. That's heart. Why do we all appreciate heart so much? What is it about that refusal to quit, that passion, that is of value to us? It's something that I think we all experience. And if that's the case, there's something to it, right? I think it's because we enjoy seeing people who want to do better. They want to get better. They want to succeed. They want to win. How much fun is it to watch the best play against far worse. It's not. Even if you're watching the best, whatever it is, not the best of the best, but you're watching, let's say it's sports, right? You're watching a football game and it's the best team in the league against the worst team in the league. And the worst team in the league just has no shot. And even their team knows it and they act like it. That's not really a fun game. That's the game that people watch until halftime and they're like, all right, I'll turn this off. I'll go do something else. And that's a fairly universal experience. We want to see a contest, a challenge. We like to see that investment of effort come through. We value artistic creation because it takes a lot of time. Ultimately, the things we value most are the things that require creation. And creation doesn't just have to be art. We value when someone cooks a meal for us because they created that meal much more than if they took it out of a box and heated it. Right? Like there's something authentic about that creation, that investment of oneself, that heart into the act, whether it's against adversity or not. Tommy says it's why Rocky is so huge. We can all relate to those stories. The idea that maybe you've progressed further than the world thinks you should, you find a way. Balboa is my favorite Rocky. Jenny says, I'm an Eagles fan. I totally understand that feeling of supporting a team. It stands no chance. Go Birds. Good morning. Josh is tuning in from Twitch this morning. Thank you, Josh. Just a reminder to all of you, we're getting there. We are getting there. I think we're at point 0.9. We're almost at 1, and we need to get to 3 as an average. The more of you watching from Twitch, the sooner we'll get there, and the sooner I can figure out what actually that gets us, and I can stop bugging you to do it. But Twitch has basically dangled this carrot. Hey, you get over, there are 4 criteria. We've done 3. The last one is we need to average 3 people watching every single time. I think it's over a 2-week span. Maybe it's 7 days, but it's a chunk, and we're getting there. Josh says, I concur with Jenny. I like the New York Mets. You guys. Tommy says, Eagles fans are insane. The craziest sports fans on earth are from Boston. Actually, I shouldn't say on earth. In the U.S., Manchester United fans might be crazier, if you know anything about soccer. And our last quote from Holyfield today, odds are just the people's opinion. Respect your own opinion. You know, that's something that came up when I was starting Whistlekick. I had a retirement plan put up. Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but I, over the course of 10 years, had managed to save up a chunk. And ultimately, I liquidated all of it to go into Whistlekick. Why? Because I will always bet on myself. I will not say that I've always won, that every individual thing I've done has won, but I've never lost because I don't quit. I always find a way. I've always found a way. I will always find a way. And so that was a conversation with my accountant. He was nervous. He was uncomfortable. He's a good man. He's a little bit older. Not quite parental older, but like older brother older. And he was nervous. I said, look, George, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to bet on myself more than the stock market. Perfect example. What's going on with the stock market right now? It's plummeting. Whistlekick's having its best year ever. Just watching the chat come through. This is an important sentiment. Frank says, sometimes the only good things you'll hear about yourself come from you. It's actually something I'm working on, something that I'm adding into my morning routine. I still wake up. First thing I do, I'm going to make today a great day. I say that it's the first thing. I'm not even, my eyes aren't even open. It's the first, I've trained myself to do this. I'm going to make today a great day. I'm not going to have a great day. That suggests that I don't have control. I'm going to make today a great day. Bonus points if you know where the ultimate, actually that is the combination of something from a book and something from a movie. If anybody gets it, tell you what, if anybody gets it in the next couple minutes, you got to get both parts. I'll send you a $10 gift certificate to whistlekick.com. Jenny and Tommy are talking about Philly cheesesteaks. There are a few things that regret's not quite the right word, but there are a few food items that I kind of wish I could have checked the box before I stopped eating certain things. A proper Philly cheesesteak is one of them. I've had steak sandwiches. In fact, second semester of my freshman year of college was pretty much entirely chicken fingers and what we called steak bombs. Steak, peppers, onions. There was a little bit of cheese on there on a decent bun. It was not a Philly cheesesteak. I don't pretend for a moment that it was. But I think I told you guys last weekend on Sunday, when I was in Atlanta, hung out with a college friend. And by the way, I gained 15 pounds that semester. I was not healthy. We went to essentially a food court, just not at a mall, and the dad of the family got a cheesesteak, and I was looking at it. It had that yellow, melty Velveeta looking stuff on it. So I'm guessing it was fairly authentic. I don't know. Frank says, I'm going to try to stay positive today. It might be one of those days when I don't hear a whole lot of positive things being said about me at work today. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I know this is a group that thinks positively of you. We look forward to your jokes and your humor and your choice of insightful material for this show. This show would not be the show without Frank. I know that. Frank, I believe you know that. I know everybody in the chat knows that. Liz says, we love you, Frank. We do. I'll give you guys one more minute to figure out where it comes from. Where does I'm going to make today a great day come from? Tommy says, call me, I'll tell you good things, or point me in the right direction, and I'll have a talk with them. The whistlekick enforcer group. Not a thing I would ever approve, but it's a fun idea, isn't it? Right? Here, I'll share this with you as we start to fade out. One of the things that I've been aware of is that as we grow and we attract people who are of like mind, it gives us power. And I want to make sure that we remain responsible with that power. If we get to a point where we have 100,000 people listening to the podcast and, 500 people on this morning show, and, all these people that have each other's back, it would be very easy to say, this person wronged me, and people turn loose. That happens on the internet all the time. But let me say now, I will never endorse us canceling anyone for any reason. There's too much power in that, and it's irresponsible to use it. All right, so Dennis has half of it. The movie is Jerry Maguire. Jenny says, Cheese Whiz is terrible, but a lot of folks down here use it. I like real cheese. Give me a provolone and fried mushrooms and onions cheesesteak, and I'm all yours. Oh, interesting. Okay. Josh says, I think that quote comes from Jeremy Lesniak. Ha! Dennis says, you're a good man, Frank Wood. Some coworkers can be people, but here you always have a family. It says, Good Day by Greg Street. Nope. Right. So if Stacy was here, she would have gotten it. Oh. Just after the buzzer. Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Make a great day. In Jerry Maguire, it's the older gentleman that they cut to throughout the movie. And he says, I don't, I'm paraphrasing, I don't hesitate to get up. The alarm clock goes off and I throw back the covers and I get up and I'm going to have a great day. It's the first thing he does. It sets the tone for the day. And then there's a line. I'm not 100% sure it's Way of the Peaceful Warrior or it might be Sacred Journey, but I'm fairly certain it's definitely one of the two, where somebody says, make a great day. And there's a little bit of conversation about that. The idea of having a great day, which is passive, versus making a great day, which suggests that you have control. So I hope you make a great day, whatever it is that you are doing. If you want to support us, Patreon. Most of you are in the Patreon. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Remember, you can always bump up your contribution, or if you need to, bump down your contribution. I will never, ever criticize you or think less of you. And I truly mean that for doing so. The fact that people share what they can and feel is appropriate is the best thing about Patreon. Okay. Other ways you can support, we've got the code FirstCup15 at whistlekick.com to save 15% on anything like this sweatshirt, or there's nothing else within reach. I moved all the Whistlekick stuff out of here. You can also go to the family page, whistlekick.com/family. I put something up from last weekend. When did I do that? Monday. So you can see something kind of behind the scenes from Monday. And it's all the things you can do to help support the mission to connect, educate, and entertain. We do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And you can join us. If somebody has topics or things that you want to unpack, we do a pretty good job of keeping the conversation going. But if you've got something that you want to contribute or ask about, feel free to send it over or, chime in. And we might talk about it today, or we might move it till tomorrow, depending on how the show is flowing. But I always like to hear those questions, those ideas, whatever's burning in your brain that we can tackle as a group. Jenny says, I love Make It a Great Day. Yeah. Recognize that every one of us has far more control over our lives than we realize. And recognize that the things we do not have control over have far less impact than we are often told. If you spend, the more effort you spend on the things you can control, and you remove the energy and attention from the things you cannot, the better your life will get. I can say that definitively. I would put everything on that. If someone doesn't believe it, let me know. I will prove it to you mathematically. And we'll end here with Gad's comment. Rely on your internal strength. You know who you are and what your value is. Let people talk. That's all it is. Thanks for being here, everyone. Hope to see you all tomorrow. We've got another episode of Martial Arts Radio coming out tomorrow. Until then, take care. Peace.